When you're working in retail, no matter if it's in a store in a shopping mall or a strip mall or a department store, you may not always see everything that goes into making the store run properly and efficiently, and then all the work that goes into preventing theft. And that's where loss prevention pretty much comes in. Companies, whether they're retail businesses or not, always have some sort of loss prevention team to prevent theft and prevent shrink, because obviously in the end it damages and hurts the bottom line because they're losing money, and everyone wants to prevent themselves from losing money, personally, professionally, in every facet of your life basically, because losing money is never fun, nor is it good. And when you're working in a store, some companies devote a lot of time and money into making sure that they don't have large shrink numbers. As already described in the shoplifter and the garbage thief, you may never know what can happen on any given day. Specifically, department stores are normally equipped with loss prevention teams because they're larger and they can afford it. In other stores, like the ones I've worked in the past few years, we are the loss prevention agents, every associate and manager, because the companies aren't so big as to be able to afford their own teams. So you have to always be on the lookout and be vigilant in terms of shoplifters coming into your store, and there are always signs to look out for. And I already blogged and vlogged about this previously in the shoplifter, and will continue with that discussion later on. I'm just going to table it for now. Specifically, one of the people who's a loss prevention agent, normally in department stores, is someone who is undercover, someone you may not think would be a part of that team, and they follow people throughout stores, and they do whatever they need to do to visually catch someone taking something, concealing it, and trying not to pay for it. And it's scary when you're working somewhere and that happens, and you don't necessarily what's going to happen afterwards, but having all those actions carried out in front of you and being able to catch that is not an easy task. And especially at other stores and not department stores, they need to be carried out by managers and not even an associate. And if a manager doesn't see all those steps, then they can't actually apprehend someone who they believe to be shoplifting. I remember when I went into a department store as a customer a few years ago, that I was in the store for a little while, didn't even have any bags with me, and I noticed this person following me, and I knew they had to be part of the loss prevention team. And at one point, I literally turned around and said to them, "Listen, I've worked in retail before. I know what you're doing, and don't worry, you have nothing to worry about because I'm not going to steal." And it was very weird because the person was clearly young and misguided and wasn't necessarily the brightest bulb out there, but at least understood what I was saying, and I left anyway. But at the same time, if you're in one of those roles, you have to sharpen your skills and be able to communicate and carry out your job in the way it's supposed to be carried out, and not just follow someone who is randomly walking into the store, or follow anyone because you think everyone is stealing. That's the wrong way to do it, and that's when you come off silly and really inept at your job.